I think freedom is something that I don't have enough of. I still have to, like, as a woman in South Africa, have to walk in the street or take a jog and not feel free. So I'd love more freedom. I'd love to wear what I want without thinking about someone else first and thinking about myself. Just because I want to, and not think, oh my gosh, what if? Like, oh, am I going to be uncomfortable in a certain space?
I think to me freedom is safety, happiness. Yeah. I think being able to express yourself without judgment.
I suppose the time and energy and financial resources to do what you want.
I think when I'm home, when I'm surrounded by my family, when I'm surrounded by my friend, when I'm surrounded by my township. So si-free ngoku, siyakwazi uthetha, senza yonke into nasemateksini, into ongayifuni uyathetha nasemsebenzini.
Usually when my mom leaves for work, I usually play music, and because I like singing a lot, and then I pretend like I'm singing in front of an audience. So that's when I feel like, oh yeah, this is me. Come pop for me, pop for me.
Freedom it's a bit of an abstract term. It's more subjective depending on your circumstance. You know, I would call myself a privileged black. I grew up in a certain class, certain level of education, certain exposure internationally speaking. So my freedom is a bit different to the lady I might bump into who's a cashier in the shop.
If we can't feel safe, then when we're on the streets, just being outside, enjoying this so-called freedom that we have, are we truly free?
Yeah, I don't think we are completely free, no. It's just
We have to get better at surviving.
Learning new mechanisms to deal with everyday life.
There's a lot of work to still be done. We're way better off. We're lucky. People fought for us to be more free, but we're not free. I don't think anyone's free in post-apartheid South Africa, to be honest.
Umama wayeku-abusive relationship ngoba wayehlukumezeka kakhulu. Utata wayengamnakanga, wayengamniki ngisho imali. Ungabi nayo nje uniform, sometimes bakujikise bathi awuzungena apha ngoba awubhadalanga i-school fees. Kuyilonto nje kuyimess.
We grew up thinking that we must submit and we must follow rules and we must do what we're told, but boys can be boys.
I played football. I have 102 goals, more than men. But I think the gender is still killing us. If I was a guy, I'm sure I was going to be sitting in my house watching a waterfall somewhere. You could play today, play against Zimbabwe in 2 weeks in the camp. Probably you'll walk away around 4,000, 5,000 to 6,000. When you see Bafana Bafana playing, you know very well, with their salary, they could buy a car after the camp. It's their choice.
A compliment that was being paid to me by somebody else, to somebody else while I was in the conversation, where the very senior person said, you know, she has kids, but you'd never know that she does. We must keep our kids and our families separate from who we are and our work. Men are usually seen as being able to tuck it away because there's somebody else taking care of it. But when it's a woman, you're the one who's supposed to be taking care of it and doing the job.
As a girl, you must grow up, get married. It's not chase your dreams, go to the moon, be a track athlete, you must get married and have kids.
I was told that I don't look like a mechanic. So, yeah, for me it was just like, okay, so how is a mechanic supposed to look?
I was walking in the park, and this guy with kufia on, laying on the gardens, and he shouts to us, "Yeah, now you's both." Yeah. When you retaliate, you made out to be the one who's overreacting because, they were just making a joke. Oh, girlie, that's just a joke.
I've definitely put other women down. It was me and another girl that were black in our class. We're friends now, but I think looking back, I could have been nicer to her, but it almost felt like we were competing for the same thing.
I'm the reason I'm not as far as I would be. I'm not afraid of not succeeding. I'm afraid of the responsibility that would come with the success that for sure I would accumulate. So I think it's fear.
So my family's always been accepting of who I was, being this diverse person, except when it came to being lesbian. Because I'm Muslim, first of all. It's not to say that specifically Muslims don't accept or is against gays. It's in every religion, really. But I think it's the people themselves that's less forgiving. It's been a tough journey. So I think at this point in time, like, we're all just trying to find our feet and, you know, working towards some light with regards to this. But I think I am not completely free when I'm, like, with my family. Yeah.
In the Indian community at the age of 32, the expectation certainly from my parents and the immediate family and community is that I'd be married by now with 2 kids. Never mind my 3 university degrees, never mind the career path that I'm on. For my parents, there's always going to be a part of them that feels like they haven't fulfilled their duty as parents because they have an unmarried daughter. And it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers them, but what bothers me is that it bothers them so much.
There's so many layers in what it means to be yellow in South Africa. And our population is around about like not even 1% of South Africa's population. Well, I have no idea what her eyes will look like yet, but if they look anything like mine, I really hope that it will be in the time where she doesn't actually have people pulling their eyes slant and, you know, just walking past her because that's what you do when you see Asians.
Coming out as trans, it doesn't negate what I am, and ultimately what I am is my parents' daughter. Nothing I am or have become can change that. I'm still a girlfriend, I'm still a friend. I'm still everything that I always was. The only difference is that I'm me now.
Black people find it like it's a compliment to say, "You out there, babe," which is like you're fat, basically. And it's like almost like, oh, you're doing well in life, or like you're eating where you are kind of thing. But at the same time, there's an undertone of like, like you're fat, like do something about it. Like your body must always be commented on.
I hit puberty very early, so I already had like big boobs and stuff in like grade 4, and that brought a lot of unwanted attention. It was quite tough being in an older body and not really matching that body.
If I had to send a message to young girls today, it would be develop an honest relationship with yourself. The more you find positive things about yourself, the more your brain will believe it. And the more other people value you for who you are and not what you look like or what kind of clothes you've got on.
I just find the older I get, the more exciting life becomes. The more in my body I feel like, oh yes, this is who I am.
When I got pregnant, I suddenly started feeling like everybody could now speak to me about this. And then I think I realized for the first time how huge my sexual identity had been. How, hoe groot deel dit van jou persona is buite op straat en in die samelewing, sonder dat jy dit eers besef. En skielik is dit like hier's 'n groot deel van jou wat nou net nie meer relevant is nie. Like it's negated and it's in a completely different category. Jy's nou saam met ou mense.
This one is a phoenix. After I was booked off for a month due to anxieties and panic attacks, I rose back, and this time I went harder, because I remember just after 3 months being booked off, I opened my second salon, and this was just a sign that after every challenge, you can rise back, Men, when they look at you, they see a different version of a woman. They think loose girls, they think clubbing girls, they think girls with no morals, This is just my stories written in my body.
I cried was 4 months ago, and basically I was just mourning a really hard relationship. Oh yeah, didn't work out.
I think when I retired, I cried just because I was not ready.
When she was crying all the time, and I was just like, I don't know what to do.
I cried yesterday. Yeah.
I don't know. It's also your pain. It's hectic. I think it's hectic because there's so many women that I speak to that have the same experience and not in a good way, like the bad stuff that has happened in life.
I mean, access is a huge thing for a differently able person. Then there's the pavement. In the middle of a pavement, there's a hole. So what do? Do I go back? If I don't go back, then I have to ask someone to help me. And either one or two things is going to happen. Either A, the person's going to help you, or B, the person's going to help you, but try to grope me as well.
It always seemed like the logical choice to just check out as opposed to living 60 years praying to wake up as something I'm not. And like my suicide attempts were never something I shared because like I was talking about shame, but like I was inherently ashamed that both that I tried and that I failed.
This park wasn't this beautiful space like it is now. As 15, 16-year-olds, we were carefree. I remember thinking, oh, shit, my mother's going to be upset. Before I even thought about my own danger, I thought more, oh, shit, I'm in trouble. So this is where it all happened. And the next thing, this gang was on us. As they tried to get me on the floor, I fought back. They were a lot. And the next thing, one of the guys came and said, wat the fuck sukkel julle nog so met haar trappie nie? And he just kicked me down. He was also the first one to rape me. When it got to about the third one, either my body or I couldn't take it anymore, and I was out. It was not my fault. It was not where I was. It was about them violating me. We teach our daughters to be safe, but we don't teach our boys not to rape.
Women are very strong. You know, they don't get credit enough for that. And you're a psychologist, you're a doctor, you're a teacher, you know. You're all of that. Hey? And everyone comes to you all the time, and you must have the answers, you know.
She works up quite a sweat when she has food. She like really works really hard. It's like hard work. Yeah.
So did you know that when my mom's mum was pregnant with her, all the eggs my mum would ever have went into her womb, and then I was one of those eggs. So her mum, you, and me, we have a very connection because we were all in the same.
So when I carried you, I was also carrying my grandchildren.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think kids growing up in houses where their dads do what their mums do, and that it's not weird for their dad to be bathing them and putting them to bed, or for their dad to be cooking them their supper, I think it sort of grows just a different way of being and a different way of living.
Yeah, you little shit machine. They poo so much. Yesterday, I changed a nappy. Her poo was in her belly button. So gross.
I have to be her first point of reference, or I have to work on making sure that as much as possible she comes to me first so that I can kind of shape how she receives information around her.
So Everything that people tell you about pregnancy is a lie, it's a scam. Because I pictured like just regal experience, like just basking in the sun.
Jou melk kom nie in nie en dis 'n gesukkel en jy's onder die indruk dat dit net so maklik gaan wees.
I have a headache almost every day. My back is really sore, my boobs. My boobs.
En op 'n stadium like is die een boob so groot en die ander een so plat, like dit is regtig aklig.
I have an existential crisis all the time, like every day. I'm just like, human being, there's a human being inside me.
Then when it settles and you actually like have this child that's really like comfortably just sucking away at your breast, you're like, this is so much love. Like there's so much affection. Hierdie kleine handjies with like stroking your breast and like 'n bootjie wat so latch, and it's like an intimacy wat jy kan dit met niemand anders hê nie.
Ubango mama kunzima ngoba sininzi into ohlangabezana nazo apha ebomini, especially ezilalini ke ngoba sisakhula shem sasibona sewes kukho ichomi yami eshiya ngabazali bayo ezilalini, kwakuwa yonke into, izindlu zakokwabo. Sewes wathola umntana shem, wathola umntana yo, hayi kwaba wes notata nomntana wanyamalala.
I'm so afraid to have a girl. Yeah, there's so much happening. People are getting kidnapped, children, like the world wants to be cruel and wants to do messed up things to girls. So that's very, very scary. I don't want to be like tapping my feet every time she leaves the house. But yeah, I guess that's another thing to go through.
It's your choice whether you want to bring a baby into this world or not. A baby is not something that has to be brought into this world. You don't have to become a mother by birthing your own child.
For my mom's birthday, I wrote a card. I can't remember exact, but I said, you were the best because you are so blessed. Your aura is so bright that the sun will envy you. This has been the best 11 years of my life. Yeah, that's what I wrote.
And you love me and no one will ever change your mind.
Oh yes, that's what.
That's my favorite.
And they say there's nothing as wonderful as giving of your time because it's so limited. And when you get to 60, to 62, 63, and you understand, that you have to do something for the children, for the children's children, because you see where this world is going to.
We need to teach our boys to be responsible. To say to them, to be strong does not necessarily mean to break down your sisters or your mothers, Actually, to be strong is to build them up.
Men have to come to the party, calling their friends out, calling their family out when casual sexism happens.
Abantwana bami bafisela impumelelo, bafunde, babe right, bangafani nami ngoba mina ayazange ndafunda kodwa nami ndisafisa nyani nami ndisafisa ukubuyela esikolweni ndifunde.
I don't think women are free yet, but I feel like if we stand together, it will come.
You're in a position to hire, especially, like make sure that you're giving opportunities to women.
I mean, if you were to take the time and actually just sit and have conversations with women from different backgrounds, different paths in life, you are definitely going to be better off for it.
Be yourself from inside and keep practicing.
A lot of us want a better future for the next generation of girls. We want it to be easier for them than it is for us right now. Sometimes people say women and exclude everyone who identifies as a woman. It's going to be great.
I can say to other women, there's hope. I am not defined by my race. Show them the middle finger and say, you know what? You thought my life was over. My life is not over. I have just begun.
We are getting more powerful for like Dragon Ball Z fusion.
If not acceptance, then tolerance.
Understand your privilege, be kind.
We are the backbone of South Africa.
We really are. We're unsung heroes.
There's no need for labels. I can love who I want to love.
We need to be having more conversations. We need to strip ourselves a lot more. Recognize the connectivity that we do have.